Ya está, ya quiere jugar, que meta el gol el perro, que meta gol el perro, sí, llévatela en el partido, vean, no pueden quitársela, que venga Cannavaro.
Oh, he's so sweet. I hope he didn't get in trouble.
This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto, and this is Digital Sportscentre presented by TELUS. I'm going to start on the diamond where the Jays are that much closer to the postseason. With their win last night over the Yankees, their magic number is now down to 2, meaning the Jays made the playoffs with any combination of wins or Seattle losses that add up to 2. Toronto starts their final series of the season tonight against the Rays, while the Mariners have 3 against the Rangers. And if the season ends today, and likely how this thing is going to look 3 days from now, the Jays would get the team they're facing this weekend in the wildcard round, Tampa. Which is interesting because you can make the case of not wanting to show your hand playing the team that you may be playing in the wildcard, but they face each other so much this season that are there any cards left to hold? Checking the odds, you can't even bet on the Jays to make the playoffs, that's how likely it seems. But to win the World Series, you can get some pretty great value at 17-1. I think I might sprinkle. Should we do a little sprinkle? Now joined by our guy, David Sanchez, to talk the potential game of the season. Chaz, how excited are you about Bills Dolphins on Sunday?
It's the best thing that could have possibly happened was the Miami Dolphins putting up video game numbers, going bananas, the talk of the NFL. Now they got to come to Buffalo, a team that's kind of underappreciated right now, underlooked. This could be a great matchup, for sure.
I mean, music to, I feel like, every football fan's ears, even if they're not fans of the Bills or the Dolphins. Okay, Chaz, this matchup is strength versus strength, as one of the league's best offenses is up against one of the league's best defenses. Have the Bills showed you enough through 3 games that they could slow down Mike McDaniel's offense?
No. Nobody has showed me on film that they can stop or slow down the Miami Dolphins. Not a single defense. But I know how the Bills are going to try to stop them. The Bills are playing more cover 3 than anybody else in the NFL right now. What's that mean? They're not blitzing. They're rushing 4 and rushing 5. So, and the outsides are basically one-on-one vertically down the field. They take away everything short. So the key to this game, can Greg Rousseau, can Floyd, and if Milano or Bernard are blitzing, can those guys get there? It'll be 4 or 5 guys getting there. Can they get there with the blitz? If they don't, vertically outside is one-on-one. The quick throws are taken away by cover 3. So the quick throws you don't have to worry about, and that's what Tua's really good at. But the outside vertical is one-on-one. If those 4 or 5 don't get there, Greg Rousseau, the game is on you.
Finally, you got a best bet for this game?
My best bet of the week comes from that Bills game. You won't like this, Bills fan, but it's still a good bet at cash. Over Raheem Mostert or A-Chain, whatever the receiving total is, take a look at that. They're going to get tons of checkdowns. The way the Bills are playing defense stylistically, the checkdown is wide open. They're willing to give that up. Receiving yards over Mostert, A-Chain. Lock it up.
It's a pleasure as always. Enjoy the game Sunday.
Thank you.
And just a reminder, you can watch Dolphins and Bills this Sunday on CTV. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. To hockey, and before we get into our big picture puck playoff series we've been doing all week, we got some pretty big news this morning, as Steve Staios has resigned as a special advisor to the Oilers, and that resignation came for a reason. As it seemed like seconds later it was announced that he was hired as president of hockey operations for the Senators. And now that we got that news out of the way, let's focus on that big picture puck. Over the last few days, we talked about new teams that could be making it into the playoffs. But if new teams are making it, that means old teams are falling out. So let's look at some of those contenders from the Eastern Conference. The Islanders made the playoffs 4 times in the last 5 years, and haven't had a season with fewer than 80 points since 2013-2014. Yes, they have one of the best goalies in the league with Ilya Sorokin, 2 of the best defenders that are definitely underrated, and some great depth up front. But this team didn't really make any changes this offseason to the group that lost in the first round last year. The biggest problem for this team is scoring goals. They had the fewest of any playoff team last year, and with Zach Parise gone, this roster features just 2 players that scored 20 or more times a season ago. The biggest question that could swing the aisles either in or out of the playoffs is, will Matt Barzal make that next step? Since his rookie season of 22 goals and 85 points, Barzal hasn't reached the 20-goal or 70-point mark since. Last year, he was on pace to do both before his season got cut short. So if he could do that this year, New York could be in a good spot. Picking teams to miss the playoffs in the East that made it last year is tough though, because all 8 of those teams are pretty good. So this last team we're going to project is a bold one, and that is the Florida Panthers. The Stanley Cup runner-up has missed the playoffs the next season twice in the last 4 years. but also just twice in the last decade, and both went to the Cup final during the COVID season. The Panthers roster won't look too different from the one that lost to Vegas last year, but there are some big question marks, specifically on the back end and in net. Both Aaron Ekblad and Brandon Montour are out, and the timeline for their return is between November and January. Montour had a career year last season with 73 points, while Ekblad played 71 games, his highest total since 2018-2019. Then in net you got Stanley Cup hero Sergei Bobrovsky, who was dynamite in net all playoffs, but had a bad regular season, as he put up a .901 save percentage and .307 goals against. Bobrovsky has not earned a Vezina vote since 2018-2019, and at age 35, you have to think that his best days might be behind him. And remember, this is a Florida team that only made the playoffs by 1 point, so even the slightest step back could see them missing out on the postseason. Time now for one of my favorite segments. Well, actually, it's not my favorite segment. My producer just wrote that to already troll me. Here we go. It's FanDuel Fast Facts. We're going to give you some key facts about Sunday's Dolphins-Bills game as fast as I can. So we're going to put 40 seconds on the play clock and see how many of these I can get through. My current high score is 5, and that's from week 1, where my producer started trying to sewer me, and he just continued from there on. So let's see, because these paragraphs are a little long. The Dolphins scored 70 points in week 3 against Denver. That's tied for the 3rd most points in NFL history, and more points than 18 teams he had scored. Damn it! Teams had scored through 3 games so far this season. Their team total for Sunday is 25.5. Through 3 games, the Bills and Dolphins are tied for first in the NFL when it comes to fewest punts, with both only punting 5 times so far this season. In 10 career regular season games against Miami, Josh Allen he didn't capitalize the names again, by the way, has scored 8-2, has an 8-2 record and averages 268.4 pass yards per game and 2.7 pass touchdowns. 2.7 pass touchdowns. His over-under for yards Sunday is 268.5. In 5 career games against Buffalo, Tua Tagovailoa has a 1-4 record and averages 199.8 passing yards per game. He also has 4 interceptions in those games. Look at the paragraphs. He made them longer this time, so I couldn't even get to 5. I could. Okay, you know what, dude? That's fine. He wants to play games. Let's play games. I only got 3. Excuse yourself. There's like, okay, fine. He purposely did this to me. We all know how the segment plays out. We all understand it. It's literally his favorite segment of the year. Like, we've done so many other segments. This is his favorite one. And I'm not sure if you've noticed, but all the facts that I've read and the ones that continue on are all pro Bills. I wonder which team my producer cheers for. Any guesses? And just a reminder, you can watch the Dolphins and Bills this Sunday on CTV. Coverage begins at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And the fun from FanDuel is not done there. You've all seen it, the whole world's gone a little Taylor Swift crazy. And with Taylor expected to be in attendance for Sunday's Jets-Chiefs game, FanDuel released a ton of Taylor-themed props, which you can see here. If we're talking value and Taylor love, I gotta go with the Seeing Red bet. Red being one of her best albums with one of the best songs she's ever written on that album. Plus the Jets suck, so would anybody be surprised if the Chiefs blew them out? And gotta give credit to FanDuel for being on top of the meme trends with the seemingly ranch bet. Maybe we sprinkle a little on that at plus 550 and Kelsey getting the last touchdown. And you can watch the Jets and Chiefs Sunday night on TSN. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. We're in week 17 of the CFL season, and we've got 2 doubleheaders this weekend starting tonight. So let's roll with the CFL preview powered by FanDuel. And tonight we get the Argos taking on the Bombers in a Grey Cup rematch, and Sasky heads to BC to face the Lions. The West standings are the most important things heading into tonight's action, because with 5 weeks left, BC and Winnipeg are tied at the top of the West, while the Riders are just 2 games up on the Stamps and Elks. Now, a couple of plays we love tonight come from that Grey Cup rematch, and we're all in on Winnipeg. The Bombers have not lost at home to the Argos since 2015, and Zach Collaros is 7-0 coming off a loss since he's been QB1 in Winnipeg. Parlay that with Brady Oliveira with over 76.5 rushing yards, and you got something fun cooking. The Canadian back has gone over that number 5 times in his last 6 outings. And he's on pace for over 1,500 rushing yards this season, which would be the 2nd most ever by any Canadian back in CFL history, behind only John Cornish. He's also on pace for over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, and he will be the first player to hit that milestone since Cornish did it in 2013. And you can watch that doubleheader tonight on TSN. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Okay, if you're a hockey fan and you didn't watch Shoresey, I think you need to question if you're even a hockey fan, because it's got everything you'd want in a show. And if you're not a hockey fan, well, you should also be watching because it's really funny. And with season 2 now available on Crave, I sit down with 2 cast members earlier in the week to talk about the show. I'm here with Tassia Tellis and Jordan Nolan of the hit TV show Shoresey on Crave. Last time we left the Bulldogs, though, of Sudbury, you left us on a bit of a cliffhanger. Okay, Tassia, your character Nat had the final words of the first season. So are we picking up where we left off?
Yes, we are. We are picking up exactly where we left off, which is What are you going to do differently? What are you going to do that's going to be better? How are you going to get us to these wins? You promised us that we're never going to lose again. Yeah. How is that going to happen, Shoresey? Let's see it.
I love it as the team just jogs off into the night in the Sudbury winter. A fantastic ending to the first season. Cannot wait for this next one to pick up. I know that Senior Men's League obviously has a lot more skill than Beer League, but I'd like to pose a Beer League question to you now, if I may. Well, this is a little personal because I am a Beer League sweetie. I go to my husband's Beer League games, and when I do this, I get made fun of in the comments when I post about it because apparently this is not a thing that should happen. I just need to know from you both, is it okay to be a Beer League sweetie?
Of course it is.
Jordan's no. What?
Is it okay?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but if you want to go watch your husband or boyfriend play pickup hockey on a Friday night at 10 p.m. at night.
I did.
That's very
right.
It's good.
It's great. Cheers to the Beer League. Let's
Thank
go
you.
out there and support. I will come with you to a game.
Thank you for saying this. I'm trying to get more girlies out to the games. He's a goalie. I swear he likes that I'm there. I swear to God, he wants me to go watch him play. You don't want a Beer League sweetie?
No, it's important to have the support, and we work hard out there. Those guys work hard, and they put it all on the line sometimes. So it's nice to have some fans in the stands, and yeah, it's great to see actually. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, okay, sure. Listen, I get it. I got called out by one of the gyms. It's fine. I'm still going to go, though, okay, babe? I support you. I love you. I'm going to watch you play. I am so looking forward to this new season of Shoresey. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm still quite hurt with Jordan's reaction, and I will still be attending Beer League games, so try and stop me. To check out the extended interview with Tassia and Jordan, just click the link below. And make sure to check out Season 2 of Shoresey, available now on Crave. That's all for today. We'll see you right back here Monday. Have a good weekend.